It is 1999, and Star Wars is back. And your boy here, Peter A. DeLuca of AKAPAD's Audio Audacity podcast, is very disappointed. So much so, it has scarred him for life. No, not really. That's what a lot of the geeks say. Disappointment, yes, but life goes on, people. But here it is, what you've been waiting for. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Let's talk. I just have to get into this real quick. So, previously in Peter's life, previously in my life, it was the Batman and the Robin. Say it with me. The Batman and the Robin that completely crushed my hopes of trusting like filmmakers and things you saw on trailers and posters and merchandise and McDonald's crossover promotions and all of these things. Because I love Batman Forever. I like that movie ever since I first saw it. I back it. I back it a lot. Yeah, so we got Batman and Robin. And now we have The Phantom Menace. The anticipation for this movie was mind-numbing. You literally could not wait. You had to go to the theater to get tickets. You had to hope that it wasn't sold out. You had to get there at a good time to get a good seat. The hell with reserved seating. I don't like the recliners. I want to go to a theater to see a movie. I don't need to be coddled while checking out a movie. I am there to be experienced. And it was very early. This is such a clear memory. Very early in watching this movie with my sister. My sister, and a lot happened around this movie too. I think, I just ended things with a girl. Like guy friends, really, not saying I was alone, but I just remember like a lot of drawing, a lot of, Peter kind of figuring things out for himself. And my sister, like the one constant. And we go see this movie. And I am about 10 minutes in. And I'm like, what is happening with this thing? I mean, they're running around this like spaceship and it's just nothing interesting. There's maybe, and I was so much more analytical about movies as I was watching them then. But I just remember saying to myself, like, what happens next? Like, what's the plot here? I already don't care. And that's when I knew, like, the movie was hopeless and there was very little there. Now, the other times I've experienced this, when it comes to anticipating a sequel, and you're probably like, who's going to say Rise of Skywalker? I'm not. But I'm going to say The Last Jedi. I'm going to say Matrix Reloaded. And I'm going to say Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Now, given a lot of those movies have absolutely grown on me. They've attached themselves to me. And for all kinds of really good, valid reasons, may I tell you. But the initial shock, the initial disappointment, I do relate to its Matrix Reloaded, The Phantom Menace, and Batman and Robin, just as of shock. And, I will say this, Dark Knight Rises. I remember being a couple minutes into that movie, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, what? And, but look, this movie also came out in 1999, and it is 1999, I say this a lot, is one of the most stacked studio-produced film years ever. Everything from these studios was either experimental, progressive, ballsy, risky, all the above. And in a way, you can put Star Wars in that category. It doesn't sell this movie anymore than how it should be sold. But it's to be understood that it was a very competitive era when it comes to studios. And these studios were going through a shift. Everyone, like we have The Mummy, The Sixth Sense, again, The Matrix, Fight Club, I believe Blade, maybe Blade, but Blade was like almost right there. like, and we just have a lot. We have the rise of like the independent film making. Like independent films was really coming into its own. Later to kind of between like DreamWorks compete and take over like the Oscars. I believe American Beauty was 1999. It's just amazing, the films that came out this year. And I remember like driving to Walmart at 12 o'clock to like get this DVD release. And I I worked at the mall at the time. And like just left the mall, like, and this is what you did in South Jersey. You would just go to the Walmart and wait. So, and I wasn't like much of a like drinker, like like I really didn't know what to do with myself other than draw. And I just you get the DVD, you go home, and my like movie theater sound system was a part one end of the basement, and on the other end was like my drawing table. So, like you would just put it on and, bring over some sketches and start working on stuff. And I discovered this documentary, the documentary that accompanied this DVD, which goes through the production and leading into this movie. Like, what they were doing to make Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. And to this day, it's one of the favorite like DVD supplemental documentaries. It's just awesome. It's usually on YouTube in some fashion. I watch it a lot. I really do, because I love watching Lucas in this. And that just doesn't mean that Lucas is like this evil guy that tried to assassinate the childhood. The way how I see this now is Lucas was just trying to complete what he started, and that is it. And the quality is meaningless to him and to everyone else. He did his job. He was able to complete his job because this movie epically just crushed it at the box office, and it got the repeat viewings. Like this movie's legendary for the lines of people that stood outside waiting for it. The merchandise crossovers. I'm talking Pizza Hut. I'm talking Pepsi. I'm talking Mountain Dew, Doritos. Star Wars was on everything. Same way how it is now. And I think that's one of the joys of Star Wars. That's kind of what makes it fun. Star Wars is just everywhere. And I think it's cool. I do. But yeah, so I don't know, like, again, is it too easy to like bash this movie? It really is. I always respected the design work. I always respected the costumes, the art of The Phantom Menace. Hardback book. It's available in paperback too. Relatively inexpensive on Amazon. Buy that. The pencil sketches for the creatures is worth it alone. We have Doug Chang who did the concept artwork, and he is no Ralph McQuarrie, but they tried to emulate some of the process. And I think along the way, we lost these things. I think on the optic level, on the visual level, it's great to watch. It's great just to put on and play some Van Halen, but just watch it muted, And I like movies like that, like they do have a value, but like I will never get over it. I will never get over my level of disbelief when I first saw this movie. And I even at the time called into like a local movie show to give my review. There's a tape of this out there somewhere. I think I do have a VHS, but I called in and was like, this movie stinks. I was like so passionate about it at the time. And I don't know, people, it's tough. Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace, it's tough, and I really don't feel like the prequels recovered from this. But it got better because I like Episode 2 and I like Episode 3. This is easily on everyone's bottom list when it comes to Star Wars movie rankings. Sometimes people put Episode 2 below this one. But look, everyone, it's Peter A. DeLuca, AKAPAD's Audio Audacity Podcast. Let's get ready. Episode 270 is going to be Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And if you like babes, Natalie Portman sings in this movie, and it's got some of the cooler creature designs collectively in all the Star Wars movies. So let's rock and roll. Let's talk about that, and I love you, and thanks for joining me.